According to the Washington Post, the White House administration is working behind the scenes with representatives of the Democratic and Republican countries in the Senate to agree on U.S. aid to Israel and Ukraine. In particular, Minority Leader of the United States Senate, Mitch McConnell, has proposed the idea of Congress passing one large emergency defense spending bill in the next few weeks, which would cover Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. This would include up to $60 billion in support for Kyiv for a year, as well as several $billions to Israel in the war against Hamas. However, Congress can consider and vote on funding for Israel and Ukraine separately.
We are in active conversations with members of Congress about additional funding for Ukraine and for Israel. And it's critical, again, that we believe Congress sends a clear message to Putin, sends a clear message to the Israeli people that the United States continues to have their back. I think in the immediate term right now, we can continue to support, with the authorities and the appropriations we have, Israel and Ukraine.
According to a report by a U.S. Congress Research Service, the Biden administration transferred about 300,000 of 155mm artillery shells from the U.S. stockpile in Israel to Ukraine. At the same time, South Korean ammunition was purchased to replenish the arsenal, and the U.S. is rapidly ramping up their production. While Kyiv is not requesting the types of weapons that Israel will need the most in the coming weeks and months, writes the Washington Post.
Moreover, Kyiv isn't asking for the types of weapons Israel will need most in the weeks and months ahead. For example, the Israeli military urgently needs more interceptor missiles for its Iron Dome system, which Ukraine doesn't have, and smart bombs for its air force. Ukraine has very few planes. From publication in the Washington Post.
Despite Russia's attempts to portray U.S. aid to Israel and Ukraine as contradictory initiatives, the Pentagon assures that it is ready to defend the interest of all allies.
In terms of our ability to continue to support both the efforts in Ukraine and support the efforts in Israel as well, absolutely we can do both, and we will do both. And you know, we are the strongest nation in the world, Lita. We're going to do what's necessary to help our allies and partners. Instead of demoralizing the Ukrainian people, Putin demoralized the Russian military. And countries everywhere have rejected Putin's vision of a lawless world where tyrants can invade their peaceful neighbors with impunity. So we stand united to help defend the free and sovereign Ukraine, and to help strengthen the rules-based international order that has made our world so much safer since the end of World War II.
The United States will lead a coalition of nations that will help Ukraine develop its air force, according to Pentagon chief, that will include training Ukrainian pilots on F-16 fighter jets. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Kristina Dombrovska, UATV News.